Coke said, "Corporations cannot commit treason, nor be outlawed, nor excommunicated, for they have no souls." Even though corporations have been taking a lot of heat for the economic downfall, new corporations are formed every day. At one point in everyone's life, he or she has wanted to start their own business that would eventually grow into a corporation. For me, it is my dream to open up my own restaurant and eventually turn it into a corporation. Today I'm going to inform you about the 7 steps a company must undergo to become a corporation. The initial step is to select a name that abides by the state's corporation laws. Generally, the following guidelines are the same in every state. Choosing a unique name that has not yet been filed in a corporation's office, choosing a name that ends with a corporate designator, such as corporation, incorporated, limited, or an abbreviation of one of these words, and choosing a name that does not include the prohibited words by the state, like bank, federal, or the United States. The state's corporation office can tell the corporation if the desired name is available, and often for a small fee it can reserve the name until the corporation files the articles of incorporation. The second step is to determine the initial directors of the corporation. Directors are usually selected by the initial owners of the corporation before business starts. Often the owners appoint themselves as the directors. This does not necessarily mean the directors have to be the owners. Depending on the state, the number of directors vary. Some states require only one director, no matter how many owners. Other states require a corporation to have at least 3 directors, except with corporations with only one owner can have just 1 director, and a corporation with 2 owners can have just 2 directors. Next, the corporation will need to file paperwork called the Articles of Incorporation. The articles must pay a filing fee from $100 to $800, depending on the state where it incorporates. Typically, the Articles of Incorporation must include just a few minor details about the corporation, such as its name, principal office address, and sometimes the name of its directors. After filing Articles of Incorporation, the corporation must create corporate bylaws. Bylaws are the internal rules that govern the daily operations of a corporation, such as when and where the corporations will hold directors and shareholders meetings, and what the shareholders and directors voting requirements are. When creating bylaws, the corporation just can simply do it itself or hire a lawyer to help it in the process. The 5th step is to hold a meeting for the board of directors. The meeting entails setting the corporation's accounting year, appointing corporate officers, adopting the bylaws, authorizing the issuance of shares of stock, and adopting an official certificate form and corporate seal. Also, if the corporation is going to be an S corporation, the directors will vote and approve of this status. Next, the corporation will issue stock certificates to the initial owners of the corporation. By issuing stock, this formally divides up the ownership interests. When issuing stock, the corporation will need the names of the initial stockholders, the number of shares they are buying, and how the shareholder is paying for his or her shares. The final step before a company is made into a corporation is obtaining licenses and permits required for the business to operate. The corporation will need to apply for a business license, also known as a tax registration certificate. It may also have to acquire an employer identification number from the IRS, a seller's permit from the state, or a zoning permit from the local planning board. In conclusion, I hope that I have taught you what it takes for a company to become a corporation. After tolerating the long 7-step process, a company will develop into a corporation. I understand that there will always be differences about the view of corporations, but without them, this world would not be where it is today.